The anointed ones are to be welcomed when all eyes are on them. This is not merely because they are different, it is because they are unforgettable. Have you ever noticed how some people can enter a room and, without uttering a word, everyone just feels their presence? It is as if they have an invisible spotlight that makes heads turn and curiosity buzz. However, here is the twist: they did not ask for the attention, and they are not playing into it. That is the kind of energy that chosen ones carry. If that is you, then you know exactly what is meant by this. Here is a fun fact: studies it has been demonstrated that individuals possess the ability to discern confidence in others within seconds of an initial encounter. However, the subject of our discourse transcends the mere presence of confidence. Instead, it pertains to a distinct and profound energy, one that is unshakable and silent. This energy is exhibited by individuals who do not seek validation or approval from others, yet paradoxically, they possess the ability to command the attention of an entire room. This phenomenon is shrouded in mystery, instilling a sense of intrigue and, to some extent, trepidation. The underlying question, therefore, is, what factors contribute to this phenomenon? Why does a person's every movement and utterance attract such keen observation, leading others to decipher their intentions and await their subsequent actions? The answer to this question remains elusive. Proceeding with our examination will elucidate the reasons why individuals find themselves under the scrutiny of others. The underlying reasons for this phenomenon are multifaceted, and the ensuing discussion will elucidate several salient points. Primarily, the subject evokes a sense of curiosity, while simultaneously remaining enigmatic, thereby fostering an enduring sense of intrigue. This individual possesses a unique capacity to pique the curiosity of others, yet the intricacies of their personality remain opaque. Despite the passage of time and the establishment of a rapport, the subject's enigmatic nature persists, hindering complete comprehension. The underlying reasons for this phenomenon are multifaceted, but a primary factor is the cultivation of curiosity surrounding the individual in question. This curiosity is often sustained by the individual's enigmatic nature, which defies facile interpretation or understanding. The depth and complexity of the individual's character, coupled with the inability to fully unravel it, serves to maintain the intrigue. Despite the perception of proximity and the apparent ability to discern the entirety of the individual's essence, a shift invariably occurs, marking a new phase in the relationship. It is evident that individuals often attempt to comprehend others, yet these efforts invariably prove futile. This phenomenon can be likened to the process of solving a puzzle, where each additional piece merely exacerbates the complexity of the entire image. The source of exasperation for these individuals is the fact that the subject does not actively seek to create this veil of mystery. Instead, the individual merely leads a regular life, not doing anything out of the ordinary, yet the puzzle remains unsolved in their minds. While glimpses of the subject's intentions may be perceived, there always seems to be a missing element, a piece of the puzzle that remains out of reach. Individuals are accustomed to those who are transparent, easy to understand, and predictable, but this is not the case with the subject. The subject's manner of movement is distinct, defying the conventional patterns of behavior. The act of withholding information is not a common practice, particularly in a world where individuals are constantly attempting to disclose their personal information. This deliberate restraint can be perceived as unusual, even peculiar, given the common tendency to divulge private matters. The intriguing aspect of this behavior is that while others expend significant energy attempting to comprehend one's character, the individual in question remains largely undisturbed. Their attention remains fixed on their objectives, aspirations, or, in some cases, personal serenity. This deliberate ambiguity does not resemble a game or a form of calculated behavior. Instead, it is an inherent aspect of their identity, a quality that draws others in, luring them into a deeper engagement with the individual. This enigmatic quality, born from a lack of deliberate intention, captivates individuals, compelling them to explore the individual's identity long after the initial interaction has concluded. The phenomenon can be described as follows: individuals who are almost haunted by their own ignorance. This quality, in essence, serves to render them unforgettable. They remain a step beyond the grasp of others, leaving them intrigued, captivated, and perpetually drawn back into their presence. Secondly, there is the observation that they experience an inexplicable compulsion to engage in competition. However, they do not participate in said engagement. It is as if there is a strange urge to compete with them, as if winning against them would somehow elevate their own self-worth. They are oblivious to the fact that they are not even participants in the game. For them, it has never been about rivalry. They do not measure their progress by how they stack up against others. Their goals are. Personal motivation is driven by intrinsic factors that extend beyond the scope of external competition. This tendency can be disconcerting to others, as individuals have become accustomed to evaluating their achievements in comparison to their peers. Consequently, when an individual refrains from engaging in competitive activities, it can appear as a challenge in itself. The individual's lack of reaction to such competitive behavior can also be perplexing. For instance, the individual might exhibit their achievements or subtly belittle the other person, hoping that the individual will feel compelled to prove themselves. However, the individual's groundedness can prevent such rivalry from becoming a significant concern. The individual's attempts at rivalry appear as mere background elements rather than as a primary focus. The subject's focus on their personal journey has led to a state of detachment from external influences. This lack of concern for external perceptions is characterized by a sense of calm and self-assurance. This disposition can be perplexing to others, who may question their own motivations and feel a sense of defeat. The subject's indifference to external validation and unshakable presence can be intimidating to others, despite the subject's lack of active attempts to dominate or control their environment. Assurance subtly conveys to them that the objective is not to surpass them, but to exceed one's own previous state. This message is received differently, leading to introspection and the acknowledgement of personal vulnerabilities. The realization occurs that mere victory is devoid of fulfillment without external validation. The aspiration shifts from mere triumph over another to the pursuit of respect. Thirdly, the individual emits an aura of serene composure under duress. In high-pressure situations, others often succumb to panic, defensiveness, or impulsive reactions. However, the individual exhibits an unparalleled level of composure under pressure, which is perceived as almost otherworldly by observers. The subject's ability to maintain composure in high-pressure situations is indicative of a stress-resistant personality. Rather than succumbing to emotional distress, the subject demonstrates a capacity to maintain perspective, exhibiting a sense of detachment akin to observing the unfolding events from a vantage point. This disposition enables the subject to respond thoughtfully to challenges, as opposed to reacting impulsively. This disposition can be unsettling to others, who may perceive fissures in their own resilience when confronted with adversity. The subject's composure is notably resilient, evoking a sense of invincibility. The subject's composure prompts others to contemplate the sources of their own shortcomings. They find themselves perplexed by the subject's ability to maintain equanimity and their own inability to do so. Even in the face of external turbulence, individuals may experience a sense of vulnerability in the presence of others, perceiving an increased visibility of their own anxieties and insecurities. This phenomenon transcends mere composure. It is the ability to approach challenges as integral components of the journey, rather than as impediments. This perspective enables one to maintain equilibrium, a quality that is often remarked upon by those who observe. However, it is important to acknowledge that this composure is not inherently innate. It is cultivated through experience, resilience, and potentially a series of confrontations have compelled you to attain inner peace. You have come to realize that panicking is an ineffective response, and that true power lies in the ability to regulate one's response. This capacity to maintain composure and proceed with resilience in the face of adversity is something that others often do not fully comprehend. While they may not explicitly articulate it, many perceive a sense of intrigue and unease in the presence of someone who appears to possess knowledge beyond that which is ordinary. It is precisely this quality that renders you memorable. Fourthly, others anticipate your failure, yet you consistently demonstrate resilience. People might not express it overtly, but they recognize your ability to overcome challenges. While outwardly they may appear to be supportive, there is a segment of the population that secretly hopes for an individual's failure. This population is often unsettled by the sight of others achieving success and surpassing boundaries. The progress of the individual serves to highlight the population's own stagnation, and thus, they find it more comfortable to observe the failure of the individual rather than to acknowledge their own lack of progress. Consequently, the population often exhibits subtle expressions of disdain or verbal concerns, anticipating the individual's eventual missteps. However, it is noteworthy that the individual does not allow setbacks to become permanent impediments. Instead, setbacks are perceived as temporary diversions, rather than definitive obstacles. This perspective stands in contrast to the expectations of the population, which is that the individual will succumb to discouragement. Subjects have been observed to transform setbacks into foundations for subsequent success. They demonstrate an ability to recover from adversity and to grow stronger with each setback. This phenomenon, which may appear to be serendipity, is actually a deliberate choice to learn from challenges and to evolve. Subjects' resilience and ability to recover and improve, often surpassing previous levels of strength, can surprise and disconcert others. Their recovery process often prompts others to confront their own excuses and reluctance to move forward, which subjects may prefer to avoid. This serves as a reminder of their own reluctance to attempt anything of the sort, and thus, one finds oneself in a state of admiration and frustration. The subject's actions and characteristics do not align with the expectations or preconceived notions of the other parties. Rather than serving as evidence that failure is an integral part of our existence, the subject demonstrates resilience. With each successive endeavor, the subject challenges the established boundaries, prompting the other parties to reevaluate their own expectations and perhaps consider exerting more effort. The subject's aura necessitates respect rather than mere attention. The subject's presence possesses a weight that surpasses that of verbal expression, and while many individuals seek the limelight, the subject's actions and demeanor are more impactful than mere words. It is challenging to discern, but it is evident that the individual possesses an innate magnetism that engenders a natural sense of deference without the need for explicit solicitation. This individual does not engage in performance or the pursuit of external validation, and this quality, precisely, sets them apart from others. This quiet form of power is characterized by its intrinsic nature, requiring no external validation yet commanding attention. Individuals can perceive this quality, even if they are unable to articulate the precise reason why. The distinction between seeking attention and commanding respect is subtle yet significant. Individuals who seek attention often require external validation to feel validated, often using it as a source of energy. In contrast, the subject's energy is characterized by its solidity, steadiness, and self. The concept of containment refers to the notion that one does not actively seek to gain the endorsement or approval of others. This approach naturally elicits a response from those around them, leading them to recognize a unique strength or quality in the individual. This recognition often prompts a pause and introspective reflection, not only regarding the individual but also concerning the self. Individuals may find themselves contemplating their own motivations, the necessity of recognition, and their own insecurities. This phenomenon, although unintended, is characterized by a cascading effect that emerges from the individual's presence. Those around them perceive their level of comfort and self-assurance, which naturally prompts questions about their own self-perception and self-esteem. The subject's composure and unassuming demeanor are noteworthy. This quiet authority, which is not contrived or exaggerated, is a contributing factor to the subject's memorable presence. In a society that is preoccupied with self-promotion, the subject's authenticity is a refreshing and, at times, intimidating presence. The subject's ability to reveal the facades that others employ is noteworthy. The subject's presence has a discernible effect on those around it, as it unveils the layers that individuals employ to mask their vulnerabilities. It is not a deliberate effort on the subject's part to expose others, rather, the subject's authenticity renders it challenging for others to maintain a facade. The majority of individuals navigate life by presenting a facade, whether with the intention of conforming to societal expectations, evading critical evaluation, or shielding their vulnerabilities. In contrast, an authentic and unvarnished individual, characterized by their genuine and unaltered demeanor, challenges these pretense. Those confronted with such authenticity perceive an inherent authenticity in the individual, perceiving them as perceiving their true self, not due to any active pursuit of flaws, but rather due to an inherent unwillingness to engage in superficial interactions. This individual's authenticity enables them to discern superficialities, such as insincere conversation, affectation, and the constant need to impress others. Consequently, those in the presence of such an individual encounter greater difficulty in maintaining a facade, and are compelled to introspect. The phenomenon can be described as a sort of social metamorphosis, wherein individuals, in an effort to fit in, avoid judgment, or protect their vulnerabilities, don masks in order to appear as they wish to appear to others. However, the genuine and unaffected individual, who does not engage in such behaviors, challenges these facades, causing them to crack under the weight of their sincerity. People feel that the genuine individual sees through them, not because the genuine individual is looking for flaws, but because the genuine individual is simply unwilling to engage in superficial behavior. The genuine individual sees through the small talk, the posturing, the endless need to impress others. As a result, people find it harder to pretend, harder to maintain the image they've carefully built up. It's as if their practiced charm, or guarded smiles, no longer hold the same power. They're left with a choice: be real, or feel unsettled by the genuine individual's gaze, which seems to catch the truth they'd rather hide. Some might be drawn to this, craving a connection that doesn't demand pretense. Others might feel a bit vulnerable, even defensive, sensing they can't keep up the illusion they've maintained with others. It's not that the genuine individual is judging them. In fact, it's quite the opposite, the genuine individual's own. The ability to embrace one's true self can be indicative of the masks one has adopted over time. In this sense, another individual can serve as a mirror, reflecting the authenticity that is absent in one's own life. This can result in feelings of exposure and vulnerability. However, the presence of another person can create an environment where there is no need to hide, and instead, there is an opportunity to be authentic. This authenticity can be challenging and liberating, encouraging individuals to relinquish their facades and be genuine. Furthermore, the ability to maintain composure in the face of manipulation or control attempts by others is crucial. When confronted with such situations, it is essential to refrain from reacting in a manner that aligns with the expectations of the other person. Instead of becoming defensive or resorting to confrontation, maintaining composure can be a more effective approach. The ability to embrace one's true self can be seen as a reflection of the masks that others have adopted. This authenticity, in its purest form, can cause feelings of exposure, which, depending on the individual, can be either beneficial or detrimental. The act of being authentic invites others to be real as well, and this can be challenging for some and liberating for others. Furthermore, the tendency to relinquish control can also be a factor. When confronted with attempts to manipulate or control, the individual does not respond with defensiveness or conflict. Instead, they respond with calm detachment, indicating a lack of interest in power struggles or proving a point. If confronted in a manner that attempts to corner them, they do not engage in negotiations or arguments, they simply disengage. This approach effectively disarms others, as they are accustomed to others playing along, even if it is merely to resist. However, the individual does not provide them with that opportunity. They disengage before others can gain a foothold. This approach can be unsettling for those who thrive on control, as they are used to people trying to earn their approval or needing to respond. In contrast to the subject's tendency to prioritize the pursuit of power, the individual in question exhibits a distinct approach characterized by a strong inclination toward personal autonomy and self-determination. Their decision to disengage from an interpersonal dynamic is not merely a physical absence, but rather, a deliberate act of self-efficacy, underscoring the notion that no external force can compel or restrict their presence in any given environment. This act of self-initiated departure serves as a powerful statement, conveying a sense of agency and self-rule, without the need for explicit verbal communication. The individual's calm and composed demeanor during the exit process is particularly noteworthy, as it engenders a sense of powerlessness in the other party, disrupting their sense of dominance. This dynamic can be likened to the act of attempting to hold water in one's hand, illustrating the inability to control or manipulate the situation. The degree to which an individual exhibits a propensity to disengage from a situation that does not align with their personal boundaries is indicative of their level of autonomy. This quality, which manifests as the ability to disengage from a situation with ease, is a distinctive attribute that sets them apart from others. It is noteworthy that those who attempt to manipulate this individual will likely encounter resistance, as they have a discerning capacity to recognize and avoid overly restrictive behaviors. The individual in question embodies a unique blend of strength and vulnerability, characteristics that contribute to their unpredictability. This distinctive combination of qualities, which is neither entirely transparent nor completely opaque, is perceived by others as a testament to their unique and complex personality. The subject displays a vulnerability that is simultaneously inviting and impenetrable. On the one hand, the subject is understanding and empathetic, readily offering a compassionate ear to others. However, the subject is also unwavering in its own personal boundaries. This balance renders the subject unpredictable, as others are never able to predict which side of the subject they will encounter. In one moment, the subject is approachable and offers genuine care. In the next, the subject is unyielding, standing firm in its beliefs or needs. This combination of traits is rare, and people often find it difficult to understand. People are used to placing others into clear. The subject's behavior can be characterized as falling into two distinct categories: those that are characterized by strength and aloofness, and those that are characterized by kindness and yielding. However, the subject's behavior defies these categories. Through experience, the subject has come to understand that true resilience does not imply a rigid or unyielding disposition. Rather, it entails the ability to discern between moments of openness and those that necessitate protection. This ability to balance sensitivity with strength and self-assurance is a source of perplexity for others, who often find themselves unable to fully comprehend the subject's behavior. The subject's comportment defies facile categorization as either strong and aloof or kind and yielding. Rather, the subject's comportment evinces a nuanced understanding of human psychology, evidenced by an ability to modulate the expression of sensitivity in self-containment as circumstances demand. This capacity confounds others, who are unable to predict or manipulate the subject due to its fluidity and unpredictability. The subject's strength is not merely physical resilience, rather, it is the capacity to withstand challenges without compromising one's integrity. The subject's vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, rather, it is the ability to trust oneself enough to be authentic, albeit with discernible boundaries. This duality engenders intrigue and a sense of uncertainty in others, who are unable to predict the subject's behavior due to its complexity. Kindness is limited, and one's level of openness is profound. This equilibrium fosters sustained curiosity, as others are perpetually uncertain of the self-awareness that one possesses, which is beyond the grasp of the majority. Ninthly, one does not seek validation, which eludes others. In a world where validation is the primary currency, one is an anomaly. While others are perpetually seeking approval, whether in the form of likes, compliments, or nods of agreement, one maintains a strong sense of self. The notion of self-sufficiency in one's sense of self is not contingent upon external validation. This independence is a concept that others often find challenging to comprehend. It can be likened to an unsolvable puzzle, the enigma of which eludes them due to their inability to grasp why their opinions, which hold such significance in their lives, do not wield the same influence in your eyes. Your sense of self-assurance does not stem from the need for external validation, rather, it is deeply entrenched in an internal sense of self-worth. You have forged your own foundation of self. The notion of self-sufficiency is one that many people find puzzling. It is characterized by an independence that is perceived as elusive, as if it defies easy comprehension. This independence is often seen as a puzzle that others struggle to solve, as they are unable to grasp why their opinions, which hold significant value in their lives, do not carry the same weight with you. The confidence that individuals possess is not derived from the need for external validation. Rather, it is rooted in an internal sense of self-assurance that is firmly established. This internal foundation is so robust that it remains unshaken by external approval or disapproval. However, this concept is often foreign to many, as it is not commonly encountered. People may sense this difference and find it disconcerting. In some cases, they may attempt to provoke you into seeking external validation or test your reactions. Nevertheless, you maintain your composure, undaunted by such attempts. The concept of assurance is characterized by its steadfast nature, impervious to external validation or criticism. This quality can be disconcerting to those unaccustomed to it, prompting attempts to provoke a response or gauge one's reactions. However, such efforts invariably fall short, as the individual in question remains undisturbed by external validation. This attribute of self-assurance contributes to an allure that is both magnetic and enigmatic. Individuals find themselves drawn to those who exude a sense of confidence, which, by its very nature, is difficult to replicate or fully comprehend. This confidence is not merely a matter of following conventional rules but rather a manifestation of an independent and unique self-mastery. The individual in question exudes an air of self-assurance that defies conventional standards of validation, rendering them seemingly impervious to external validation attempts. This quality, among others, contributes to an aura of enigmatic allure, compelling others to engage with them despite their own internal struggles. The individual's ability to maintain a sense of autonomy and self-sufficiency, while simultaneously defying typical social expectations, is a source of intrigue and discomfort for others. The individual's reluctance to reveal their emotions explicitly, coupled with an apparent ability to maintain a sense of detachment, contributes to an aura of mystery and intrigue. The ability to validate without seeking external validation is a source of fascination for others. This ability signifies autonomy in a sense of invulnerability, compelling others to confront their own insecurities. The absence of need for external validation is a compelling quality. The inability to be easily read is another source of intrigue. This characteristic prevents others from easily accessing one's inner thoughts and emotions, which can be disconcerting for some. While most individuals tend to reveal aspects of themselves to establish familiarity, the subject in question operates in a different manner. They maintain a significant degree of privacy and secrecy, creating an aura of mystery that others find challenging to comprehend. Individuals are accustomed to assessing others, formulating conclusions, and exerting control over interactions. However, when confronted with the subject in question, they are left with a sense of uncertainty and ambiguity. This ambivalence engenders unease, as others find themselves unable to comprehend your intentions or predict your actions. Your inclination to withhold information is not driven by any deliberate effort to be enigmatic, rather, it stems from a strong regard for your privacy, autonomy, and innermost thoughts. You recognize the value in not divulging all aspects of your life, and you are cognizant of the influence that maintaining a degree of enigma exerts. You do not feel compelled to reveal yourself to others merely to foster a sense of ease or familiarity. Individuals who prioritize privacy, autonomy, and self-reflection tend to be less inclined to share personal information readily, recognizing the potential benefits of maintaining a certain level of mystery in their lives. They exercise discretion in determining what and when to disclose information, a choice that can be disconcerting for others. The ability to shape one's personal narrative, a trait exhibited by these individuals, can be a source of discomfort for others, who may attempt to discern underlying motivations through careful observation and analysis of reactions and behaviors. However, the intricacies of one's personality and experiences remain inaccessible to others, leading to a sense of uncertainty and unease. The unpredictability of one's actions and words contributes to a sense of unpredictability, causing others to feel disoriented. This unpredictability can cause them to feel as if they are constantly trying to keep pace with you. However, your silence is not a sign of weakness, but rather a manifestation of power. You do not need to reveal all your cards to assert your presence, and the fact that they cannot understand you is precisely what keeps them intrigued, albeit frustrated. Your ability to maintain some aspects of yourself as a mystery leaves them feeling uncertain, which is the last thing they would expect from someone so self-aware. 11th, it is evident that one's purpose is profoundly felt by those around them. An intangible energy pervades one's presence, which is discernible to those who engage with them. This quality, however, does not necessitate overt declaration or verbal articulation. Instead, it manifests in the individual's composure, the decisiveness of their actions, and the manner in which they navigate life. 11th, you are perceived to possess a profound sense of purpose, which is evident in the energy that surrounds you. This intangible quality is perceptible to those who interact with you, irrespective of your verbal expressions. It is not a matter of overt declaration, nor is it confined to your verbal utterances. Instead, it manifests in your deliberate actions, the poise with which you navigate life's challenges, and your unwavering intention. It is discernible that your motivations transcend the quotidian routine and do not align with the superficial demands of societal conformity. There exists a profound and enigmatic force that guides your actions, and its radiance is such that it captivates those who observe, while simultaneously evoking a sense of unease. For the majority of individuals, existence is a series of reactions, a perpetual dance to meet external expectations and ensure survival. The concept of intention signifies an individual's propensity to be driven by a purpose that transcends the quotidian routine. This purpose is not merely a matter of following external expectations or conforming to societal norms, rather, it is a deeply ingrained force that guides one's actions and decisions. The manifestation of this purpose is often characterized by a sense of captivation and, at times, a certain disquiet in those who observe it. It is evident that one's journey is not merely a reaction to external stimuli, but rather, it is a deliberate and purposeful movement in alignment with a greater purpose. This heightened sense of purpose can evoke a sense of fear or intimidation in those who do not fully comprehend its underlying motivations. The presence of an individual who is not merely passive in their existence, but actively engaged in creating, shaping, and moving towards a defined goal, can be a source of discomfort for others. This heightened sense of purpose and direction is palpable, and its energy is not confined by the limitations of language. Those in your vicinity cannot help but perceive your elevated frequency. Your pursuit is not confined to conventional approval or the adoption of predefined roles. Instead, you are driven by a force that propels you forward, a concept that remains elusive and beyond their grasp. This leaves them intrigued, desiring to understand. The subject's energy is characterized by a sense of purpose and direction, which is evident to those in its vicinity. This heightened state of being is not merely a matter of pursuing external validation or conforming to societal norms. Instead, the subject's focus is directed towards a higher purpose that is not fully comprehensible to others. This heightened state of being not only stimulates curiosity but also evokes a sense of envy, as others recognize that they do not share the same level of purpose and are, therefore, unable to fully comprehend the subject's journey. This realization can be both intriguing and unsettling for others, as it suggests that the subject is not merely existing but is actively engaged in a process of evolution, growth, and fulfillment of a purpose that is significantly more profound than what most can imagine. Your presence challenges their own identity, disrupting the status quo in ways that people aren't prepared for. This effect is not intentional, but it is undeniable. Simply by existing in the same space, you compel people to confront parts of themselves they'd rather ignore. When others interact with you, they can't hide behind their facades or mask their insecurities. They see themselves reflected in you, and it's impossible to look away. You become a mirror. To them, the revelation of not only their strengths but also their vulnerabilities, things they might have worked hard to bury, can elicit varied responses. Some individuals experience discomfort due to the confrontation with aspects of themselves that they have been avoiding. The truth that is reflected back to them is unsettling, and they are unable to evade the reality of their own identity in your presence. In contrast, others may hold admiration for your capacity to maintain strength in your authenticity, recognizing in you a quality that it has been demonstrated that the ability to demonstrate one's strengths and vulnerabilities can elicit a variety of responses from others. Some individuals experience discomfort due to the revelation of aspects of themselves that they have been attempting to conceal. The truth that is reflected back to them can be unsettling, and they are unable to avoid the reality of their own identity in the presence of the other person. In contrast, others may admire the subject's ability to maintain their integrity and authenticity, recognizing a quality within themselves that they aspire to possess. Finally, there are those who experience envy due to the clarity and certainty that the subject radiates, as it serves to highlight their own confusion or lack of direction. The subject's potency lies in the fact that they do not require verbal communication, nor do they need to impart a lesson or highlight flaws. Their very presence, their capacity to be themselves, compels others to question the masks they wear and the identities they have constructed to avoid fear or external validation. It has been argued that making others uncomfortable can be beneficial in the long run. This discomfort can be a catalyst for introspection and self-evaluation. It has been posited that individuals in this position do not merely pass through life, but rather, they catalyze transformation in those around them, regardless of their personal sentiments on the matter. Ultimately, being a chosen one is not about being seen or celebrated by the masses, it is about the profound effect one's existence has on the world around them. One's very presence forces others to confront their own truths, whether they are prepared or not. One does not seek validation because of one's sense of self. The concept of worth is not merely a matter of external validation. One's presence in life is characterized by a sense of purpose and self-assurance, qualities that can be disconcerting to those who are still in the process of self-discovery. One's identity is not merely a component of a collective, but rather a reflection, a challenge, and a catalyst for introspection regarding one's own identity, limitations, and this quality of being a catalyst for self-reflection and introspection makes one both captivating and intimidating. One's authenticity in the face of others, marked by a refusal to conform to external expectations, draws attention in a way that is impossible to ignore. This authenticity may be admired by some and envied by others, but it invariably compels all to engage with their own internalized issues. One's presence is not merely a matter of being here to. The individual in question does not seek to conform to external expectations or standards, nor does it seek to adhere to the conventions established by others. Instead, it sets out to carve its own unique path, one that is characterized by fortitude, genuineness, and an unwavering dedication to a higher purpose. To the observers from the periphery who are attempting to comprehend this individual, it is advised to maintain its current course, as with each action and step taken, the individual continues to forge a path that is both unique and compelling. It is imperative to determine whether one should assimilate into societal norms or challenge them. The latter option involves forging a unique path that reflects strength, authenticity, and an unwavering commitment to one's higher purpose. To those observing from the sidelines, attempting to comprehend one's actions, it is crucial to maintain one's authenticity, as with each action and step, one becomes more enigmatic, a quality that others find profoundly intriguing. The true power of a chosen one lies in this mystery, purpose, and unshakable sense of self. If this video resonated with you and you aspire to embody the power of being a chosen one, it is essential to subscribe to the channel and join a community of like-minded individuals. Individuals who find themselves becoming more enigmatic may find themselves increasingly in demand by those around them. The true power of such a transformation lies in the individual's ability to identify and pursue their own unique path, while also embracing their true self. Those who find themselves on this journey are encouraged to subscribe to the channel, where they will find a community of individuals committed to a similar path. Those who have found themselves on this path are encouraged to share their experiences and insights with their friends and family, helping to spread the message and inspire others to do the same. The journey ahead promises to be transformative, and those who subscribe to the channel now will be a part of something greater.